Hi guys, this is Rebekah from angelfoods.net. Today's video tutorial is on dessert cakes. How perfect would that be with a cup of tea? So today's dessert cake is going to be a Choc mint.
Oh yeah!
I know, pretty good, hey? So Choc and mint go amazing together. So I've got a chocolate mud cake. This is a 10-inch round one I've got. It happens to be my gluten-free cake. That's why it's sunken a little bit, but that's absolutely fine. And then I'm doing a green buttercream. So the green and chocolate look really beautiful together. The buttercream, you can see the tutorial on that at angelfoods.net, and I've coloured it green with green food colouring and then added a peppermint essential oil. So you can use a food colouring, a food essence from the supermarket, but it is actually artificial. So what I use is an essential oil, and that's from your local health food shop. You can get that. So that is the green buttercream, and we'll be layering it in the centre and on the sides, and then there'll be chocolate on top, and it'll be, oh my God, amazing. I've got a sugar syrup. So I layer my dessert cakes with a sugar syrup, which I've again flavoured with 100% natural peppermint essential oil. So again, from the health food shop. So sugar syrup, I've got a recipe for you on my blog at angelfoods.net too. Now we're going to decorate it with some chocolates. I've got some chocolate shards here, some triangle pieces, but you could use some chocolate drops if you wanted to. So just like these ones here. So chocolate to decorate, then you'll need a cake board as well. So this is a disposable cake board. It's a 10-inch round, costs about 50 cents, 50 to $1 from your local either bakery or cake decorating shop. So a cake board, you'll need a palette knife to put the buttercream on the cake. You'll need a knife to trim the cake and cut it in half. You will need a baker's comb. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. This is what I'm going to use to decorate the sides of the cake with and give it some waves and some character. So there's a thick side and a thin side. You can get these again from your local cake decorating shop or your local bakery as well. So I've got that one. You need a piping bag and a nozzle. I'm going to use a number 11 star nozzle today, but again, you can use whatever you want. And because it's a dessert cake is all about a nice big fat piece of dessert cake that you get full on and it's absolutely luxurious and elegant. So I use a cake divider, so you have the exact size for every single piece. It looks like it's come from a cafe or restaurant. So a cake divider, I got this from my actual packaging shop, but again, cake decorating shops, it's about $15, and this one has 14 sections. So you use that to indent the top of the cake to give you each individual portion. So that's a cake divider. And then you'll also need a turntable. So I've got just a Lazy Susan here from Woolworths, which is about $8, but you can use actual cake decorating tables from cake decorating shops. So with all this, let's make cake. All right, let's stack this cake. So I'm going to do it on a turntable. I'm going to decorate on this one, and I use a bit of non-slip. So I'll place that on there. Non-slip you just get from your local cheapy shops, so dollars and cents, Crazy Clark's. And you get your cake board and place it on top. So that just stops it spinning around and moving off the turntable. All right, so let's get this cake out. So I always bake my cakes off in baking paper, and that way it's just not going to stick. You're going to have one whole cake. You'll have no problems with it. And then you peel your paper off. Now just be careful when you're peeling your paper off that it doesn't tear and you don't leave any in the cake so that people don't eat it. That will be the only thing. Peel that one off. And the bottom. Awesome. Just pop that to the side. Now we're going to carve him up, knead him up a bit. So like I said, he's a little bit sunk just because it's gluten-free. I love my gluten-free. So I'm just going to neaten the edges up and cut them off. So I always decorate my cake cold, always remember that. It's a lot easier. If it was a fresh cake or a warm cake, this is going to fall apart on you. But otherwise I always cut away from myself, so down to the bench. Now for a dessert cake, you always add layers of awesomeness. Add layers of buttercream or ganache or mousse or whatever your heart's desire. And you just cut half and just down a little bit. And this way you're going to get the straightest line. And I've gone back to the start and now I'm going down to the center. Whoops. All right, and then I always use the base as the top because it's flat. It's already flat. So to glue it to the cake board, just use a little bit of buttercream. Pop that on there and then glue that down. Fabulous. Now, I always add a layer of awesomeness to make the cake more moist, I suppose. It adds another layer to it. So this is the sugar syrup I was telling you about with a peppermint essential oil to add more flavour that soaks through the cake. So you just drizzle some on, let it soak in for about 20 seconds. And then we're going to put buttercream on there. So you can use a pastry brush, like a plastic pastry brush. Just always make sure to wash it properly. There we go. I'll just wash my hands super quickly. All right, so now we're going to get this buttercream onto the cake. So I'm going to use this angled palette knife. I really like the angled palette knife lately, but you can use a flat palette knife. You can use just a butter knife at home if you want to, if that's what you've got. And you're aiming for about 1 centimetre thick buttercream. So when you cut that cake, the green and the chocolate really contrast with each other, it really stands out. And the best part of the cake is the buttercream, like, can't deny it. Fabulous. Now that doesn't need to be super smooth because you're just going to cover it with cake. So don't stress about it. Just pick off any crumbs and layer that on. So aim for the center and give it a little squish down as well. There we go. All right, so now we're going to palette knife the sides and the top with the buttercream. So you just pick up a good blob on your palette knife or your knife, whatever you're using, and it's a backwards, forwards motion. So we've done this lots of times before. So I call it the Queen's Wave. So if you imagine the Queen's Wave backwards, forwards, you just keep doing that. Now, I'm just trying to get rid of this crumb. Now, because it's a dessert cake and it's a buttercream cake, we're not putting fondant on top. I usually aim for my crumb coat to be my final coat. So I'm just going to do the one layer of buttercream and quite thick. So if it doesn't turn out nicely, what you could do is just do a thin layer, a crumb coat of buttercream, and then do a second coat. So that will be to get it thicker and a more professional finish looking to it. So you're probably aiming for at least 1/2 centimetre thick. There we go, and we're back to the start. So you can see it's very easy with the turntable. You can decorate quite quickly. Like at home, I could get this decorated in 5 minutes. All right, so let's get some buttercream on the top. So we're aiming for about probably 1 centimetre on top, because some of it will come off as well. Remember, it always comes off with the palette knife. And then we're going to get it smooth. All right, so let's start the smoothing process. So you keep scraping it off against the bowl. It will make your life easier. Now just use your turntable to spin. So I'm aiming to get it flat now, and I want to push it over the edges because it's going to make my life easier to get the right angle, the 90-degree angle on this cake. And now I'm getting rid of the excess. I'm just using one edge of my palette knife, holding it in one spot and spinning, and then pull away, scrape it off. Spin, pull away, scrape off. Spin, scrape off. All right, that's starting to look good. So now we're going to get rid of these edges, peel it back in, scrape off. Peel it towards the center, scrape off. Keep scraping it off. Okay, so it looks a little bit wonky to me. It looks like it needs more buttercream on this side. All right, and then have a look at the sides and see if there's any buttercream missing. So might build it up a bit more buttercream on the sides, because I'm going to use the baker's comb on the sides in a minute. You want to have enough on there that you don't pull it away to the cake again. You don't see the cake crumb. All right, that looks good. Now, depending how you're decorating the side of the cake, you could do lots of things. You can do the baker's comb, like I said, or you could put nuts up the side or sprinkles up the side. Really up to you. Chocolate drizzling, chocolate pieces. What I'm going to do is actually pipe on top with chocolate pieces. Now, sometimes I can get the top of this cake really smooth without hot blading. So hot blading is running your blade under hot water and then just running it over the buttercream to get it smooth. But I think it's actually going to do it without it today. That looks fantastic. All right. So now I'm going to tidy up the edges and then we'll do some blading. So to tidy the edges, you just grab some paper towel, fold them over a couple of times and just hold it up to the cake. And then spin your turntable. And that just cleans your cake board up. So again, you've got that professional finish to it. People will think that you've bought the cake. There we go. All right, so now we're going to baker's comb it. To do the combing, I'm going to do a slight wave to it. So it's just moving it up and down and holding it against the buttercream and then at an angle like your palette knife. So you can do it in different size waves or uniform, completely up to you. I'm finding it slightly weird because I'm doing it to the camera, but if you do it in front of yourself, and there's my join. So that's the edging to it. And like I said, you can add sprinkles to that as well if you wanted, or nuts, or whatever you wanted to. All right, we've decorated the sides, and now we're just going to finish him up. So the cake divider, like I said, this is a 14-piece one. And to use it, you just want to eyeball it over the top of the cake so that it goes to the center. So this circle's in the center. Hold it there and then just give it a bit of a press to put the indents of the sections into the buttercream. Fabulous. All right, so you've got the 14-piece divided now. Now you need your piping bag. peeling back, number 11, star. You can use circle, you can use any size. It just depends what you're looking for in your final product. Pile some buttercream in there. All right, and then we're going to pipe some rosettes. So this is what a rosette is. So it's the same as decorating a cupcake, but it's just on a section of cake. So I normally go 1, 2. 1, 2. So you can just do 1, you can do 3. It's up to you what you're looking for. 1, 2. And you're aiming for the center of the cake divider. Fantastic. And then to finish, you could add drizzles in the section. So if it's caramel or chocolate, you can add sprinkles. I'd usually normally do a chocolate ganache drizzle in there, but today I've decided to do chocolate shards. So I've just bought these molds and I've melted chocolate, put it in the molds and pulled it out. And you just have it resting either on the side or on the top. I might go to the side, I think. I think that looks fabulous. All right, so you have it resting on there. So if you've never melted chocolate before or worked with chocolate very much, I've got a video blog on chocolate and cake molds. You do have to be a bit careful when you're melting chocolate, but basically the secret is do it slowly. Don't overheat your chocolate. Chocolate can burn quite easily. And you don't want that out of your chocolate, because if you've got burnt chocolate, you got to throw it. So this is a quick and easy cake to decorate. If you've got people coming over having a barbecue, if you're having a high tea, this will go perfectly. Any flavour, any design, just make it cake and make it awesome. You want it center, off center, doesn't matter, it's right where it is. Yeah. Here's my lipstick. This is still rolling.